Ladies and gentlemen, would you please stand for the national anthem sung by owner and five-star guitars and the Oregon Small Business Person of the Year, Joff Metz.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage your Master of Ceremonies, SBA General Counsel, Melvin Williams.
Let's hear it one more time for Joff Metz and the national anthem, please. I don't know about you, but I got a little chills because we're standing right in front of that very sacred banner, and if you haven't had a chance to go back here and see the Star-Spangled Banner at some point, please. It is a part of our history that is significant. So, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us for our kickoff of National Small Business Week 2016. Thank you to those of you who are not only in the room, but streaming online through SBA.gov. We're happy to have you with us. As the voice of God said, I'm Melvin Williams, Jr., the General Counsel at the SBA. I will be your MC for this evening, and I'd like to welcome everyone to the Smithsonian Institution's National Museum of American History. And I'd like to thank them for their hospitality and opening up this beautiful space here in our nation's capital. And I hope that prior to you sitting down, you had a chance to explore the American Enterprise exhibit and see a little bit about what small business can do for America, but I suspect those of you in this room already know a little bit about that. So tonight, we have an amazing group of small business owners in this room from each and every state in the country and 6 territories. And I just want to take a moment. We're going to be doing a lot of clapping tonight, so let's work our hands out. So first of all, let's give everyone a round of applause. Thank all of you for being here tonight. Congratulations to all of you. Now, after our ceremonies tonight and tomorrow, we're going to take National Small Business Week on the road. SBA district offices in each and every state are going to be hosting events. Our partners are going to be hosting events. Our administrator, Maria Contreras-Sweet, and our deputy administrator, Doug Kramer, are going to be on the road. They're going to head out to New York City, Atlanta, Chicago, Denver, Phoenix, San Jose, and Oakland. In each city, we'll salute our neighborhood heroes and champions, small business owners. It's you that are lifting up your communities by creating jobs. It's you who are transforming industries through innovation. You're selling goods and services to the federal government at a record pace. And as small business owners, you are more resilient in the face of adversity than at any other time in our history. The small business owners in this room and the 28 million more across the country are the backbone of this economy. As you heard our administrator say, you provide 2 out of 3 net new jobs in this economy. And we're so excited to highlight your exemplary work, not only tonight, but throughout this week through National Small Business Week. So as a lawyer, I've got to get a few thank yous and rules and regulations out of the way, and that includes thanking a few people. So before we get started, let's recognize our sponsors of National Small Business Week. First, we could not have done this without SCORE. SCORE is a nonprofit association dedicated to helping small businesses get off the ground, grow, and achieve their goals through education and mentorship. Thanks to their network of 11,000 plus volunteers, they're able to deliver their services at no or very low cost. Ken Yancey, are you here? Please stand. Rest of SCORE, stand on up and be recognized. Stand up. We're over here in the corner. Perfect. We want to recognize the other organizations who are our sponsors of National Small Business Week. Without their generous support, we would not be able to make these events happen. Our presenting sponsor is Chase for Business. You'll be hearing a little bit about them later tonight. Our gold sponsor is ADP. You'll be hearing about them tomorrow. We are also working with Colonial Life, Square, Sam's Club, YP Marketing Solutions, and Intuit QuickBooks to present free educational webinars during the week. Our bronze sponsors are Facebook, the National Association of Government Guaranteed Lenders, Microsoft, ESET, Lockheed Martin, and VEDC. We also have a list of over 35 nonprofit and trade groups that have joined us as sponsoring co-sponsors. At this time, can we have our sponsors please stand and be recognized? Please stand. I also wanted to take a moment to recognize the small businesses that have been helping SBA plan and execute tonight's events. Obviously, it's SBA. We do a lot of talking, but we also do the walk. So when we were putting together tonight, we wanted to make sure that we got small businesses involved. So I'd like to give them a bit of a shout out. The company live streaming tonight's event is Sweet Spot from New York City, our lighting and audio company. Okay, our lighting and audio company that's putting a glare on my bald spot here, thank you very much, is EQ, Event EQ from Columbia, Maryland. Our event planners are Decibel Management from Alexandria, Virginia. And you've started some of your food, but I imagine you're going to have a little bit more later, and I hope you enjoy it. And that's coming from Well Done Catering right here in Washington, D.C. All of them are small businesses. Let's give them a round of applause. Now, to get things started, I'd like to introduce our host for tonight, the chair and curator of the Work and Industry Division of the Smithsonian Institution's National Museum of American History, Peter Liebhold. Peter's curatorial responsibilities include agriculture, manufacturing, and mining. Throughout his professional life, Peter has been involved with industrial history and the effort to preserve the working history of the nation. In 1981, he helped open the Baltimore Museum of Industry in a renovated cannery building on that city's historic waterfront. At the Smithsonian since 1985, he has curated numerous exhibitions, including American Enterprise, the exhibit that you saw this evening. Please join me in welcoming Peter Liebhold.
Well, thank you everyone for coming here tonight. It's really my honor to be with such an exciting crowd of people. As the Smithsonian, we really try to represent all of America, and I think this room really is exactly what we're trying to do in terms of tell your story. The small business is such an important part of American history, and it's one that I think that we constantly need to remind ourselves of and tell the public. And so having you here is truly an honor. I certainly want to thank the SBA staff for doing such a wonderful job on putting this together. To Maria Contreras-Sweet, the 24th administrator of the SBA, who is doing a fantastic job in really pushing SBA forward so that the organization can help you all achieve more. But especially I want to thank the prize winners and their guests. You guys are what it's all about. You're what's making it happen, and you're the people that we want to collect. I want to take just a few minutes and talk a little bit about our American Enterprise exhibition because it tells your story. American Enterprise is our business exhibition, and we think that for people to understand the United States, to understand America, they have to know stories of business. Business is who we are as a nation, and business is who we are as individuals. As Calvin Coolidge said famously back in 1925, the chief business of American people is business. They are profoundly concerned with producing, buying, selling, investing, and prospering in the world. So my hat is off to all of you who make Calvin Coolidge's words come true every day. And I want you to understand a little bit about what we say in American Enterprise in our exhibition to tell your story. That the exhibition has 4 major themes, and this is your story of opportunity, innovation, competition, and common good. That's the mix that makes the nation so unique, and you all put it together. The exhibition shows how the United States has been vibrant and a leading economy for over 150 years, that we consistently do get it right. But what we say is that there is no one golden moment, and I think this is so important for everyone to understand. There's not a point that we've ever figured it out. The United States is based on no traditions, that as a nation we continue to change. The great economist Joseph Schumpeter called it creative destruction. But what we do is we continue to change, we continue to modify, we come up with new ideas, and you all are the vanguard. Small businesses is the group that lead with entrepreneurs, with inventors, and most importantly, with risk takers. For many years, historians have focused on big. That was the old story, Alfred Chandler and the Visible Hand, looking at railroads, looking at economies of scale, the rise of hierarchy, sort of everything that you probably hate. That was the old business history. But the new business history starts to recognize that small is what matters. And in our American Enterprise exhibition, we tell a lot of these stories. That in small business, people take more risks. People are more flexible. People can respond to market and make changes more quickly. Historically, small businesses are the incubators of major change. Some small businesses stay small and provide products and services, and that's great. Some small firms get swallowed up by large firms, and that's equally good. That you all are the test bed, the innovators who can take those risks, and bigger firms can then make you wealthy and scale them up even more. And of course, small firms also become big firms. The small firms grow very large at times. And I think that the story of Phil and Dora, both of which are in our American Enterprise, are great examples of this. Phil founded Blue Ribbon Sports back in 1964, selling shoes out of the trunk of his car. In his first year, he had $8,000 in sales and profits of $234. Not really too impressive. Today, Phil Knight's company, Nike, they changed from Blue Ribbon Sports to Nike, has a bit over $30 billion and employs 60,000 people nationwide. So that's a great story of small business going big. Dora Hilda Escobar, another small business person, left El Salvador in the 1980s, came to the United States seeking opportunity. Entrepreneurial and hardworking, she labored actually in the underground community, selling clothes and making native foods. She saved her money, bought a used food truck, and began selling pupusas to the emigre community. She was always extremely conservative about debt, worked on a cash basis and expanded her offering. She now has 3 restaurants and 175 employees. These are great stories of American success. These are your stories. The Smithsonian continues to collect and tell the story of entrepreneurship and how small business people contribute to the development of the United States. We look forward to the day in the near future when artifacts that we can collect from you all documenting your experiences can be on exhibit in our exhibitions. So thank you very much for coming here tonight, and I salute you all. It's an honor to be with such a distinguished group. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter, for your work and for hosting us tonight. Now I'd like to welcome Janice Bowdler from J.P. Morgan Chase. Janice is a managing director within global philanthropy at Chase, a global leader in corporate philanthropy with $200 million invested in communities annually. As senior program director, she is responsible for setting and driving the firm's philanthropic and corporate responsibility strategy in 3 key focus areas: financial capability, community development, and small business development. Janice has also authored a number of publications on financial opportunity and economic mobility. Prior to coming to Chase, Janice served as the Director of Economic Policy at the National Council of La Raza, the largest national Latino civil rights advocacy organization in the country. We'd also like to thank Janice and her team at Chase for their generous support of National Small Business Week as our presenting sponsor. Please welcome Janice Bowdler.
Thank you all so much. Isn't this an amazing room? I had planned to tell you how beautiful you all look, but I actually can't really see you. But I saw many of you out in the reception, and you did in fact look beautiful. I'll assume nothing much has changed in the intervening moments. We are so excited to be the presenting sponsor for National Small Business Week along with the SBA for the 3rd year in a row. We'll be joining SBA events all across the country. It really is a week of weeks for us. And we are going to stand shoulder to shoulder with you all, celebrating and helping business owners get access to the tools and resources you all need to grow and thrive. Across the country, Chase serves more than 4 million American businesses and employs more than 10,000 specially trained bankers who focus on serving them. Not really a numbers game, but we really think that our combination of scale, our investment in technology, and our professional relationship management is a winning one. We are trying very hard to make it easy for business owners to control their finances so you all can focus on running your businesses. In fact, last fall, we launched a new brand, Chase for Business, to help convey our mission to be the bank for businesses. We took a hard look at ourselves, the fact that we have all the financial services that business owners need, like transaction accounts, cash management, lending, credit cards, payment processing, but we knew that we could improve how those things work together. Our main focus is on making the parts of Chase work better together for business owners. And we feel pretty good about how we're doing. Our customers rank us #1 and #2 by J.D. Power and Associates. And of course, I must also mention how proud we are to be among the top SBA lenders in the country every year. If you'll indulge me for just a moment, I actually want to tell you a little bit about my day job, because I think I actually have one of the best day jobs around. And I say that knowing the company I'm in. You all have amazing jobs running your own businesses. As the head of small business initiatives for the J.P. Morgan Chase Foundation, I'm a part of the Small Business Forward Initiative, a 5-year, $30 million commitment to connect small business owners with the mentors they need, help them get access to markets, and help them better manage their money. And that includes getting access to flexible loans for those that aren't able to qualify for traditional bank loans. In fact, in just the last 6 months, we've launched 2 such funds. The first is a $30 million fund the National African American Loan Fund run by Valley Economic Development Center, or VEDC. And I know Roberto's here. Roberto? Over here in the corner, he's hiding. Roberto, you stand up. We were so proud to stand with Roberto to launch this fund, and even more excited about the success that it's already had. We know that African American entrepreneurs have had a tough time getting access to capital. And VEDC came to us and they said, you know what, we want to take a look at the root causes why, and we want to build a fund that's going to help address those issues. That's exactly what they've done, launching in New York, Los Angeles, and Chicago, the 3 largest cities for African American small business owners. Our work with them has helped to not only shine a light on an important issue, but ensure that a community that's still struggling deeply after the recession has access to the kind of capital that they need to grow their small businesses. Another example of work that we've done is the Entrepreneurs of Color Fund, launched by Develop Detroit Fund in Detroit. That wasn't really obvious. Working with the small business owners in that city. One of the coolest things about this fund is that they created a line of credit for local contractors. In the next few years, Detroit is going to build a new light rail line. They are going to build a new arena, new hockey arena, and they're going to build a new international bridge. But as you all know, the small business owners, they need a little run room in order to be able to compete for those big contracts. And if they didn't have access to some flexible capital that was going to allow them to bulk up, make sure that all their licensing and bonding was in place, make sure that they had all the equipment that they need, they weren't going to be able to compete for those jobs. For those of you that are small business owners in the room, you know that lines of credit are one of the hardest things to get. And if you're a new contractor, it can be extremely difficult for you to get that kind of capital. But we knew that that's exactly what small business owners in the city of Detroit needed, and in particular, the entrepreneurs of color, to make sure that they were going to be able to participate in the economic growth of their city. Our partnerships with CDFIs and other technical assistance providers are critical to extending the benefits and opportunity of small business owners to more people, and in particular to women, business owners of color, and veterans. These entrepreneurs are all too often underserved, but can and do contribute greatly to their micro and macro economies. We see the need to create more inclusive growth opportunities as a moral and a business imperative, and our work with small business owners is a perfect example of that. We've seen time and time again that many of those entrepreneurs that hit a bump in the road, or they had an issue with collateral, they got a loan through a CDFI, very soon turn around, grow that business, and come back to borrow from a JP Morgan Chase. Over the next 5 years, JP Morgan Chase will spend $1 billion to strengthen workforce, improve the financial health of individuals, revitalize neighborhoods, and of course, grow small businesses. We look forward to partnering with so many of you in this room on those goals. So, I want to congratulate tonight's winners. I do not want to stand in the way of your program. Thank you for indulging me as I share a little bit of our work that we've done with small business owners, and I hope genuinely that we get to work more with all of you. Thank you.
Janice, thank you so much, and the team at Chase, for all that you do for the 28 million small businesses across our country. So we've been talking at you for a little bit, but we're going to take a break now. We're going to get dinner served to you, and then I will come back, hopefully late in your meal, and interrupt you, and we'll do the rest of our program.
Welcome back to the stage your Masters of Ceremony, SBA General Counsel Administrator, Melvin Williams.
There you go. Hello, hello. How was dinner? How is dinner? Okay, wonderful. Now look, I think I still see some wine in the back, so some of you are not carrying your fair share on these tables, so please make sure that you partake of that. Now that we are all well fed, I would really like to welcome a very special individual onto the stage. Our SBA Administrator, Maria Contreras-Sweet. Administrator Contreras-Sweet is a seasoned manager, corporate executive, state cabinet official, and an entrepreneur. She joined President Obama's cabinet in April of 2014 when she was sworn in as SBA's 24th administrator. SBA is the voice for entrepreneurship in America. The agency supports U.S. small businesses, create nearly 2 out of 3 net new jobs in our economy, employ half of the nation's private sector workforce. Our loans support more than $100 billion. In California, our administrator was the longest-serving secretary for business, transportation, and housing. She led 44,000 employees, 14 departments, and managed a $14 billion budget. She was also California's chief banking regulator. In the private sector, she served as vice president of Westinghouse, 7-Up, RC Bottling Company, and eventually became an equity partner there. As an entrepreneur, she started 3 businesses in Los Angeles, including a community bank that specialized in small business lending. She was appointed by the U.S. Senate to the Glass Ceiling Commission to create more opportunities for women and minorities in corporate America. Today, she continues to advocate for diversity, access to capital, equal opportunity for all Americans. It is my pleasure to introduce not only the voice of small business on the President's cabinet, but also the voice of small business in America and our leader, Maria Contreras-Sweet. Administrator, please come forward.
There must be some small businesses in the house. All right, here we go. I love this. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to officially, right now, with the powers bestowed on me on behalf of President Obama, to officially kick off the National Small Business Week of 2016. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. I want to thank Peter for this lovely, gracious, incredible venue for our small businesses to observe their role in American history. Entrepreneurs are the very essence of Americana. I also want to thank Janice for picking up the check for dinner. Thank you so much to J.P. Morgan Chase. Thank you so much for your role in all of this. Let me just say that each of you in this room, each of you is one of the most inspiring small business success stories that we have to offer. You are our state winners. Congratulations to each of you. Thank you so much. I can't believe it. We are so fortunate to be joined by entrepreneurs, by mom and pops, by manufacturers, by hackers, disruptors, innovators, who have availed themselves of SBA services to create jobs, to deliver goods and services, and to lift up America across the country in local communities, one job at a time. Thank you so much for being here. My mother taught me manners, and so when you have a guest in the house, you do have to introduce them. You know, my name is Maria Contreras-Sweet, and it is my husband who always says that he made me sweet, Mr. Ray Sweet. Thank you, Ray. Thank you. But it is very rare that I have the family fully in town, and so I'm delighted that my daughter flew in from Los Angeles, and my son is here with us too, Francesca and Antonio. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I want to talk about the entrepreneurs whose blood, sweat, and tears, whose pursuit, whose passion, whose triumphant nature, whose courage, whose honor, all of the characteristics that are so emblematic of you here in this room. You have become the most valuable commodity in our country. You truly do represent the very essence of what is American free enterprise. I'm talking about the men and women, the innovators, and the persistence that is the envy of the world. I had the good fortune of just traveling recently with President Obama to the historic trip to Cuba. I want to share with you what it was like there to talk about entrepreneurs and to talk to them. And as we were talking about the services that SBA had, they just reveled with admiration. And then from there, the president told them I was going to be going with him, and then he went to Argentina and said I'd be coming right behind him. And so we came 2 weeks later, and I had to send him a little note and say, "You make a great advance man." It was really very nice. But what he's really been committed to is to lifting up what he believes is the most powerful force the world has ever known, to lift people out of poverty, to create transformation in neighborhoods and in communities and in countries, and that is entrepreneurship. So I hope that you have noticed how he has led us by supporting maker fairs at the White House, by supporting and encouraging his daughters to shop small every time we celebrate this week. He issued a proclamation here for us for this very week. And he is now convening global ministerials and summits around the world. I had the good fortune of representing him in Morocco, and then we went to Kenya together, and it's just such an honor to see how committed he is, and he always, always makes sure that he meets with entrepreneurs and small businesses in every country. He says, I want to address civil society, bring out the entrepreneurs and the mom and pops that produce things in these countries. And it's just incredibly joyful to see him in action at that point. If you'll just indulge me, I just want for everybody to see the power that's in this room. Raise your hand if your parents or your grandparents turned an idea into a small business. Nice. Keep them up. Raise your hand if you turned an idea, if you yourself turned an idea into a small business. And raise your hand if one day it is your hope to create a small business. There you go. It's the past, the present, and the future of American economy. Thank you for that. Thank you. Thank you for that. The theme of this year's National Small Business is Dream Big, Start Small. That's more than a tagline to us at SBA. It's the American story. It's the homesteaders who set out west in the 1860s to carve a life out of the land for themselves and for their families. It's the wartime wives and Rosie the Riveters of World War II who turned their patriotism into profitable businesses. It's the determination of inclusive communities like African Americans who overcame discrimination to pioneer advancements in agricultural chemistry, biosciences, agriculture, performance that some performed surgery, some helped us create the first home office computer. All of you, those stories, no one's entrepreneurial story or journey is exactly the same, but the common thread between all of you and us is that you all started right here with a big, big dream, and you took that first step. Entrepreneurship allows us to provide something of value to society while also creating a better future for ourselves, for our children and theirs, and for the people that we love. Local small businesses sponsor Little League teams. They donate profits to the local PTA. They plant trees along Main Street, invest in the future of their neighborhoods, and bring people together in all the communities that we call home. Today, our small businesses comprise the biggest engine of our economy. You can find them on Main Street, in our malls, and we know that you've heard us say it over and over, that they're creating a majority of the jobs. It is a pleasure to be at Cabinet when the President and the Department of Labor Secretary announces that we've had 73 months of consecutive job growth, which is a record in American history. And I get to say, but Mr. President, the majority of those jobs were created by small businesses. It's true. It's true. In fact, for those of you that heard 2 years ago, we hosted Janet Yellen here. Tomorrow we're going to have Mark Cuban. But Janet Yellen was here with us a couple of years ago, and she reiterated and made the point that it was small businesses that powered our recovery after the Great Recession. Truly, 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 we celebrate these contributions and their importance to all of us. SBA often works behind the scenes to help guarantee a supportive ecosystem for business growth and development. For more than 60 years, we've helped some of the most important companies grow from small to big. In fact, just last night, I was having dinner with a handsome young gentleman, sorry, husband, and he came over and he was very eager to connect and talk, and he said, my name's Kevin. He says, I looked high and low. No one believed that I could put technology in clothing. No one believed in my idea, and it wasn't until the SBA stepped forward to offer me a guarantee that I received here in the state of Maryland a little small loan of $150,000 to start a company that I've now founded and grown, and it's called Under Armour. Yeah. Isn't that great? It's so great. I loved when I saw the Mars rover Curiosity, and to know that from our program we had 6 SBIR recipients from the SBA office that helped create that Mars rover Curiosity. I'm so proud that we've helped to start Apple and Qualcomm and FedEx and Chobani's and Ben & Jerry's and the iRobot and Oral-B toothbrushes, and every state that I go to, it's such a joy to go in and to visit a small business that's now maturing, and that's our great joy, is to see you become large, to scale, and to grow. We put our thumb on the scale for ordinary citizens who start their enterprises. Some people have a wealthy uncle. We have Uncle Sam. When I took over the leadership of the SBA, I said I wanted the letters of SBA to mean something different, something more profound. And so I've reframed the dialogue to call us smart, bold, and accessible. I said I wanted it to be more than a tagline. I wanted it to be a new governing agenda. I wanted to make certain that we were harnessing the smart systems that are available to us to make us as efficient and effective and optimized as possible. I hope you have felt that sense. If you go to our site, and you now can go to Link, we're not creative on names. I didn't say we were creative. The name of our program is called Link, L-I-N-C, and if you go to that now, you answer 20 simple questions, and it's a little bit like Match.com. Have you ever used that? No, don't tell me, that's all right. Don't tell me, keep it to yourself. But anyway, it's very much like Match.com, and you go in and we reroute your profile to those who have an interest in meeting you in a date, but this date is with a banker. As a result of this new technology that we put in place, we've had 30,000 new matches just in the few months that that technology has been up. We have SBA One, because one of the things that you all told us was that our applications weren't too easy to get through. And as a banker, I can tell you they weren't. And so I was delighted that we were able to work with our IT team and create new efficiencies, so that now we're going to begin in the next 60, 90, 120 days to take every bank that's an SBA lending partner and put them all on this new system, so that now they will all be online. You don't have to fill out the paper and fax them. And it's really going to be spectacular, and I think revolutionize the way in which we engage in this program. There are so many more smart systems that we put in place. I can't tell you how proud I am of the team, our entire operations, our HR group, our digital services officers, and the entire team that have been working on all of this work. What does that mean? What did that do? I can tell you that as a result of that, SBA this year is at record lending levels. We were able, in fact, it was that trip to Kenya when, thank you. It was that very trip to Kenya when I received a call from our NAGL, the National Association of Government Guaranteed Lenders, and they said, you're about to reach your cap, the congressional authorized lending levels. And so Anne Marie, the head of our office, and I talked, and I said, what are the options? She says, we stop lending, we cut people's levels down, or we ask for more. So we said, we're gonna ask for more. So we went back, and you can imagine that call from Kenya to my ranking member and the chairman of the House and Senate committees when I said, I need for you to pass a bill in about 2 weeks so that we can keep the lending going. And just as you are amused by that call, I can tell you they were equally amused. But I have to tell you, when I shared with them how compelling your stories are and the role that you're playing across the country, they knew it was the right thing to do. And so I got to sit at cabinet when I hear from Secretary of Transportation, he said it took 2.5, 3, 4 years to get his authorizations through. And I hear that from Department of Defense, and the Small Business Administration was able to get our funding bill increased in a matter of 2 weeks. And we returned from Kenya. We had $4.5 billion more to put out for the remainder of the year. It was a remarkable achievement. We're really proud of that. And when I arrived, they said that we had not reached our contracting levels, for those of you that get contracts with the federal government, for about 6 years. And we just hunkered down, focused on this. I don't know how many times John Chiraka, John, are you in the House? Well, first of all, Anne Marie for breaking that record on Capitol. Anne Marie, where are you, Anne? There you are, there's Anne Marie. She took down the House on lending. Thank you, Anne Marie, thank you. And then our Office of Capital Access. Now, John, where are you? Oh, there's John. Okay, good, John. Well, let me just say, we talk about the Office of Capital Access, but just so that you know, this is a team that has to have the chutzpah, the ganas, the passion, the commitment, whatever language you want to assign to it. But they have to have sharp elbows because they are up against the Department of Defense generals, Department of Energy physicists, and they have to say, no, that opportunity goes to a small business. And sometimes we have to duke it out, and we do, and we prevail. And so we didn't meet the 23%. We exceeded it, and we got to 25.75% of the procurement spend to small businesses this year. John Chiraka, thank you. Thank you. It's just incredible what this team is doing. And you might say, well, those are all good numbers. What about the below the line? I'm a banker, and I also like the below the line metrics. For the ladies in the House, we saw that we had never even gotten close to the small business goal for contracting with women. And so we hunkered down and focused on that too, and we put in some new tools. We went to Congress and fought fiercely to get sole source authority, the kind of authority that we have in other categories, but we had not had that for women. And we fought, and we got women to mobilize across the country, and all of our resource partners weighed in, and everybody came forward, and we were able to achieve that. So that now the buying officers across the country, if they see a woman who is uniquely qualified to do a body of work, can just sole source them and bring them in without putting them through an arduous process. Really proud of that achievement. We're expanding the categories in which women are underserved. Thank you. Thank you. There's just so much good stuff going on. I'm telling you, this is the best SBA team ever assembled, I believe. I truly do believe that. I truly do. So we hit the 5% goal for women this year, and now we say it's just the floor upon which we will build, ladies and gentlemen. And also our lending numbers, you can imagine, I said we're also about accessible, and I wanted to make certain we're accessible to everybody. So we have put on programs that you have never seen before. We have said for the person who took a left turn when they should have gone right, and they ended up incarcerated, but they served their time, paid their debt to society, and now can't get a job to feed themselves or their family. And so we said that's just not right in America. We believe in a second chance. And so we did something that's very exceptional in my view, and that is our micro-lending team office came to me and said, let's join the Ban the Box movement, which means that when you fill out an application now in one of our nonprofit micro-lenders, we now no longer ask you if you've been incarcerated. So now you can come in and qualify for a loan. That is re-entrepreneurship, re-entrepreneurship. And also for the deaf and hard hearing, do you know that their unemployment rate is above 40%? So we just said we need to address this, and so we are the first department in the federal government to put in video relay services to make sure that they are able now to start businesses to serve their communities. It was a first again for the federal government. So proud, and thank you to my son for giving us that great idea from the FCC. Thank you. Thank you. I mean, I could go on and on. I can't tell you how proud we are. We know that there are women who serve our country as well, and sometimes they weren't as comfortable in the regular Boots to Business program. You all know the Boots to Business program. We are in every military installation around the world where we help our men and women in uniform, and we help them transition out. And so if they don't have a job in mind, we can talk to them about entrepreneurship. I want to thank Bob Carson. Barb, are you somewhere in the house? Oh, I know. Oh, there she is in orange. Thank you for putting on this program. Thank you, Barb. But we said, but what about those that have already been out for some time that trying to figure out their way forward? And so we launched last year a program called Reboot. That was pretty good, Barb. That was a good game. And so now we are also standing up in our veteran business outreach centers, these wonderful programs to make sure that we're connecting with our veterans who served our country so valiantly that we think that's the least that we can do for them. We have a special loan program for them, and we give them an awful lot of more fee reductions because we think they deserve it. Thank you, Barb, and to all of the men and women who have served our country who are here in the room. Thank you. Thank you. All these metrics have really been phenomenal. And then we have the SBICs that are the fund of funds. We are the largest fund of funds in the world, and we are so proud of the fund managers who come in to address mezzanine, early stage, private equity, all these very interesting types of financing. They're top experts, and we leverage their capacity. If they come in and say they have a fund of $50 million and we see phenomenal success, that they have ability to provide early stage capital to nascent entrepreneurs and help them grow, we match them 2 to 1. So a $50 million fund becomes a $150 million fund to make sure that small businesses like yours are getting the funding and the capital that they need. So to all of the SBIC funds in here, congratulations to you for being qualified for that program. Thank you. Mark Walsh, are you in the house? Mark runs that program. Thank you, Mark. Thank you so much. Thank you. And I mentioned that we're about the BOLD as well, and the BOLD refers to our global strategy. We think that today's entrepreneurs know no borders. We know that when you start up now, you say, I want to do business in Canada. How do I get business in the Netherlands? And so we are taking down the borders to say, how do we connect people here with there? So as we heard that Congress and the White House were working on a trade agreement, we said if there's going to be a trade agreement, we're going to make sure that for the first time in history, never happened before in the world, there is going to be an SME chapter in that empowers the small business to connect with their strategic allies, small businesses around the world, and we were successful. Now we just need to get the bill passed. But at least now we're going around the world talking to people that there should never, ever be another trade agreement without a chapter addressing how the small, medium community is going to benefit from it. That's a great one. Eileen, thank you for leading that effort. Eileen Sanchez, who runs our Office of International Affairs. Thank you. Thank you. We're convening global ministerials and calling on heads of state from all around the world, asking other heads of state to elevate entrepreneurship and create cabinet offices. And so we are on the road all over the world. And we just landed last night from Argentina. That was quite a trip. But anyway, so we've been doing important work to make certain that you, as you navigate through the world, that you are navigating safely. And if you haven't looked into the trade export loans, I don't know how many of you have gotten a 50%, 65, or 75% loan. These are 90% guarantee loans. Phenomenal program that we have there in that office. Anyway, then you know, obviously, how important all of this comes together through our counseling operations. And I don't know if Tamika Montgomery is in the house. Tamika Montgomery, thank you so much. Our SBDCs, our Women Business Centers, our SCORE offices, our Veteran Business Outreach Centers, all the phenomenal programs, and somehow it becomes the largest counseling network in the world, and Tamika Montgomery runs that incredible operation. Thank you for that. Thank you. Anyway, you can just tell how thrilled. I didn't mention Erin Andrew. Is she in the room? Our women's office. Erin, thank you so much. Thank you. Let me tell you what Erin did. We were saying we needed more women to disrupt. We needed more women to innovate. We needed more women to get in the game. When we go to Silicon Valley and we're meeting with so many entrepreneurs there, it's largely male. I love men, don't worry. But it was, and I have to tell you that we decided to create two programs. And one is called Challenger, with the last three letters H-E-R, and the other is Innovator, H-E-R at the end. And both of these, one is for contracting and the other one is for innovation programs. And Erin has been lifting those up throughout the entire part of the country. So it's just not Silicon Valley and the East Coast. So thank you, Erin, again, for that work with our women's operations. Anyway, you can just see how proud I am of this incredible team, and I want you to know them because these are the men and women that are facilitating the programs of which we're all partaking. So thank you so much for allowing me that very bit of bragging rights in terms of the team that we have. Let me just say that it takes an entire orchestra. So of course, to our finance team, our human resources, our operations, our legal team, everybody, it just takes an incredible operation. And the front lines that you've all gotten to know first and foremost, and that is our field operations. We love our field operations, and they truly are our face out in the field. I know we have one regional administrator here, Natalia, who represents this part of the country. Natalia, please stand up. Natalia Urteco. Thank you. And I don't know, let me just see, is Chris James, who runs our field operations, in the house? Oh, he didn't make it. Eugene, any of our field folks? Well, they're out in the field. There you go. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. But what they did do, so that you know, is we just talked to so many of you. I get the privilege of meeting each of you as I travel around across the country. And one of the things that you said is it's so hard to get permitting. It's so hard to start your business. It's hard to get the licenses that you need. And so we just said, even though we're the federal government, we can play a role in the local government. So we went to the president and he agreed, and we launched a new program called Startup in a Day. And our field operations has now been challenging mayor after mayor. I started in Boston and have worked all the way to San Francisco and down to Los Angeles. And we now have close to 100 of the largest cities' mayors committed to helping you start your business in a day. And I love that the president is bragging about this program because it's taking hold, very popular. And while we were in Argentina, we were bragging about this. And so I have to tell you that the mayor of Buenos Aires said, well, why don't I sign it? And I said, well, you're not part of our National League of Cities. He says, well, I want you to tell them in America that we're committed to the same. And so he signed it too. It's really spectacular. Thank you. So you can just see how much fun we're having, growing small businesses and growing jobs and growing our economy. I love that we're adapting, we're leveraging networks. And last night, another gentleman I was chatting with for quite some time was Travis, who founded Uber. I know you all have different opinions about Uber, but nonetheless, I was bragging to him. I said, you think your platform's pretty cool. I said, let me just say, we do not have any banks, yet we have one of the largest lending portfolios. We personally aren't counselors, but we have the largest counseling network in the world. We don't actually run a fund, but we manage the largest fund of funds in the world. I'd say the fact that we're running these programs, the lending and the investment portfolio, this is the dessert. We are running this program at zero subsidy to taxpayer dollars. Is that phenomenal? Congratulations again to the team for all of this. Anyway, let me just close with a couple of my favorite quotes, and that is, one of them is from John F. Kennedy, who said, "We don't all have equal talent, but in America, we should be given an opportunity, an equal opportunity to pursue our talent." And that is what I think the very essence of what SBA is and why I'm so proud of what we do each and every day. I'm so proud of that. And what I really, my second favorite quote is Dr. Martin Luther King, who said, "What good is it to be able to sit at an integrated counter if you can't afford to buy the hamburger?" He understood that as we fought for civil rights, that we needed to make sure that we brought along our market rights and economic empowerment, inclusive entrepreneurship. And so if the good doctor were here, we would say, at SBA, we don't want to help you buy the hamburger. We're here to help you buy the restaurant. We believe in ownership, leaving legacies to our family. That's what the SBA does each and every day. And so thank you for being the joy of our life, to give us the privilege to get to meet you, to understand the blood, sweat, and tears that you fought to build your families, businesses, and all that you're doing. Having started 3 businesses, and my third you heard was a community bank, I consider myself a small business woman whose small business serves small businesses every day. And so I salute each and every one of you, and thank you for making our country a great place. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. We're proud of you. We love you. We love you. Thank you. Thank you.
Our administrator, our leader in small business, leading 28 million small businesses, Administrator Maria Contreras-Sweet. Please, one more round of applause. Now you know why we're so fired up. And again, Administrator, thank you for your remarks. Powerful, especially the last part about the lunch counter when we're sitting in this building and the lunch counter at the, that was desegregated in 1956 in North Carolina is just over here, just to the side of us. So again, powerful and timely, and when the restaurant is bought, we'll put that lunch counter back in it. So now to our awards. First, we will honor SBA's resource partner organizations. These organizations offer counseling and training services across the country to aspiring and established business owners. First, the Small Business Development Center of the Year goes to the Charleston Area Small Business Development Center. Tom Lauria, Director of the Center, will be accepting the award. Our National Score Chapter of the Year award goes to the Canton, Ohio chapter. Accepting the award on behalf of the chapter is Ed Meserly, Chapter Chair. The Veterans Business Outreach Center of the Year award goes to the New Mexico Veterans Business Outreach Center. Here to accept the award is Director Joe Long. The Women's Business Center of the Year award goes to North Dakota Center for Technology and Business. Accepting the award on behalf of the center are Deborah Eslinger, Program Director, Deirdre Hillman, Program Coordinator, Joanna Crezon, Financial Coordinator, and Lori Morsdell, Marketing Coordinator. Now for the Jody Raskin Award. This award goes to an outstanding opportunity lender and is named in honor of our departed colleague and former program head, Jody Raskin. Our winner this year is Louis E. Morarenchitz from Finanta. This year, we are honoring not one, but two small business investment companies. In 1958, Congress created the Small Business Investment Company Program to facilitate the flow of long-term capital to America's small businesses. SBA partners with private investors to capitalize professionally managed investment funds known as SBICs that finance small business. And you've heard of some of the success stories from our administrator just moments ago. Our first SBIC of the year is Argentum Capital Partners. Accepting on behalf of Argentum are Walter Broderanium, Daniel Rayner, Managing Partners, and Steve Berman, Partner and Chief Financial Officer.
Congratulations, gentlemen. Thank you very much. Pleasure.
Well, I'll get on the other side.
Yeah, one.
There you go.
Thank you very much.
Our second SBIC of the year is GMB Mezzanine Capital. Accepting on behalf of GMB are Carlton Olmanson, Managing Principal, and Michael McHugh and Daniel Hamadian, Managing Partners. Finally, we move to our Phoenix Awards for disaster recovery. First, we will honor outstanding contributions for disaster recovery by a volunteer. The trail of two tornadoes that plowed through Moore, Oklahoma, within 2 years created a new career path for our winner. He was working as a filmmaker and wedding photographer in May 2013 when a devastating tornado struck Moore. The storm destroyed entire city blocks, left damage of $2 billion in its wake, and killed 24 people. The next morning, our honoree gathered a group of 10 volunteers to help with the massive cleanup task. He assumed a leadership role and city officials took notice. He organized a meeting and tweeted a request for more volunteers using the hashtag #ServeMore. The next day, more than 3,000 people showed up, bringing with them brooms, rakes, shovels, and bags to haul away the debris. Within days, the group of volunteers had swelled to more than 10,000 individuals. Our honoree managed the recovery logistics. When city leaders established the Serve More Community Renewal Center, they asked him to become its executive director. He established a protocol which included emergency preparedness for future disasters, while recruiting and training volunteers ready to quickly respond to the next crisis. That crisis came in March 2015, when a smaller tornado struck Moore. Serve More instantly mobilized to clean up debris and get needed supplies and resources to those in need, and also served as a hub where residents and businesses received recovery assistance. Under his leadership, Serve More has activated nearly 55,000 volunteers who have met more than 4,000 repair and construction-related needs for the residents affected by recent disasters. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Chris Fox of Moore, Oklahoma. Next, we will honor outstanding contributions to disaster recovery by a public official. Just over 2 years ago, on April 28, 2014, Louisville, Mississippi was hit by a massive tornado. Packing winds of over 170 miles an hour, the storm ripped a path of destruction that was 1 mile wide and 32 miles long. The tornado left in its wake total destruction of the only hospital in the city. More than 200 homes and businesses were destroyed or heavily damaged, and 10 people were killed. Our honoree, who happens to be the mayor of Louisville, and the residents were looking forward to the creation of 200 new jobs after the city signed a contract with Winston Plywood and Veneer, a manufacturer of specialty plywood products that was going to take over a former Georgia Pacific plant. The tornado destroyed the plant, creating an additional economic blow to the city of 6,600 residents. After overseeing the search and rescue efforts with local first responders and checking on the safety of the disaster survivors, our honoree established a dedicated phone line for residents to report and give updates on the missing. The owner of a local radio station, our honoree and his staff worked tirelessly to get operations restored, to provide the city much needed information on where to go for disaster recovery assistance. Tonight's awardee then turned his attention to focus on the long-term economic recovery of the city. He reached out to the parties involved in the Winston Plywood and Veneer deal, which included investors along with state and federal officials, to encourage them to renew their commitment to build a plant in Louisville. On January 30th, 2015, our winner welcomed officials from Winston Plywood and Veneer for a groundbreaking ceremony of the Louisville site of a new state-of-the-art plywood mill. The project represents an investment. It's worth applause. You can applaud for that. But like they say on the infomercials, wait, there is more. The project represents an investment of $50 million and will create 400 new jobs, twice the amount of the previous plant. Now, I know when we think of Louisville sluggers, we usually think of a state to the north. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think we happen to be graced in our own presence here with our very own Louisville Slugger. Please welcome the Mayor of Louisville, Mississippi, William Hill.
Well, as a public official being asked if you would like to speak, should I say more? Actually, I was told I didn't have a choice just then because I thought I might get away with that. But I would first like to thank the SBA for this distinct honor and award. I'd like to congratulate all the award winners this evening. Small businesses are truly the heartbeat of America, and I'm delighted just to be a part of this program. As you can tell from my accent, I'm not of the northern Louisville. I'm from Louisville, Mississippi. And also, I would like to congratulate you on behalf of being also a small business owner myself, who am I delighted to have with me my wife and my children, who we have, as was mentioned, a radio station, and we're small business owners. Although you may thought if I said small business and you took notice of the wine you were drinking, it says William Hill. That is not me. It is an honor to accept this award, and I will tell you that in any disaster as a public official, there are no plans that you can make. You can only be prepared the best you can. There's not a playbook for this, and there are many public officials, elected or employed across this country, who deserve such an award for leading. In not being able to plan for it, all it is a matter of reacting. You react to the best of your ability, and you look towards the future, and you look at what opportunities you may have. Thankfully, we have a community that was resilient and decided that we as a community would come back, and we'd come back to the best of our ability. There was so much lost. There was lives lost, as in a lot of disasters. There were belongings, there were memories, and there was employment lost. The main thing that we could do, or anyone can do as a leader, whether it be elected, employed, or just in your own household, is to give hope. And that's all that we try to do as leaders in our community, was to give hope. And we're delighted to have done that. And I dedicate this award to my community, Louisville, Mississippi, Winston County, and Mississippi, and the federal government. Whereas the government sometimes gets a bad rap, but in this case, this was a true example of synergy of government. The federal government, the state government, the local government, and the people who elect the government working together to try to make our community come back. And for that, I dedicate this award to the people of my community, the people of my state, and the people of this great country. And thank you. And I dedicate it to a company who could have easily walked by a business decision, being that insurance money could have meant way more. But rather than taking insurance and walking away, having faith in us as a community, they doubled down with money, we've doubled down with jobs, and it gave hope to our community, whereas now we have nearly a $50 million plus industry and a $50 million plus healthcare facility being built in rural Mississippi. Thank you, and God bless you.
There's been a great offense committed, and I am the perpetrator. So I want to apologize to Chris Fox of Moore, Oklahoma. He should be at this podium to give a couple of remarks, so I whisked him off. I apologize for that. Chris, if you could come back and join us and give us a couple of remarks, please.
Thank you. That's no worries at all. Thanks for the opportunity. I do want to say thank you very much. Thank you for the award. It's such an honor. In Oklahoma, we often prepare for disaster by saying it's not if, but when. And that inevitability motivates us toward preparedness, and preparedness leads us to recovery. We recover from what has happened again so that we can stand ready for what will happen in the future. And I believe that the human race has found the key ingredient in successful disaster recovery, and it's togetherness. I'm so grateful for the partnerships of tens of thousands of volunteers who walked alongside our community in recovery, and for the partnership of the Small Business Association, among many others. I'm often inspired by the words of Helen Keller. She said, "Alone we can do so little, together we can do so much." So I thank you for this award, and my neighbors and more thank you for your unwavering support.
Okay, up next, we have a short video for our final awardee of the night, and then we will return to give that award. Please play the video.
SBA's low-interest disaster loans make individuals, nonprofit organizations, and businesses of all sizes whole again. Within the past 5 years alone, SBA has approved more than 100,000 disaster loans for a total of $5.2 billion. A huge chunk of these loans, about a third of them, were made after Hurricane Sandy in 2012, like the one made to this year's Phoenix Award winner.
Since 1998, the SBA has presented the Phoenix Award to business owners and individuals who displayed courage, resourcefulness, and tenacity in the aftermath of a disaster, while contributing to the rebuilding of their community.
This year's Phoenix Award winner for Outstanding Small Business Disaster Recovery has survived not one but two horrible disasters. And like the phoenix that rises from the ashes, Majestic came back stronger, with an unwavering desire to serve their own community.
My name is Stephen Piazza from Majestic Vending and Services Incorporated.
My name is Marianne Piazza. I am the co-owner, co-founder, and the CEO of Majestic Vending and Services, Inc.
We're a full-service vending company that supplies offices, businesses, and local homes.
My husband and I are a team, and we each have our strengths and weaknesses.
I'm here because of the SBA. First dealings with the SBA was the loan I got to buy this building. Majestic was started with the $50 bubble gum machine that I bought from a friend of mine.
And we were able, within a few short years, to go for now servicing the New York City metropolitan area, and we've been able to grow 250%. Hurricane Sandy to Majestic was devastating. We had suffered severe damage, not only in our building, but outside our building, because our equipment was at our customers, and we had to think about how we were gonna rebuild.
They were affected by it, but still, they kept going down to the beach and helping in any way they could.
We knew that there had to be people that needed water, and if they couldn't get to us, we would bring it to them. We're the type of people where we don't take no for an answer. We never back down from a challenge, and in this particular case, this was just something that we wanted to be a part of because this is who we are. It was just a natural occurrence for us to continue to serve our community. We were able to write grants. We were able to help those that were in need, those that were unfamiliar with where they can get help.
The SBA has helped Mary Ann many times. Originally, to buy the building that she occupies.
2 years later, they helped us further by getting a capital loan after 9/11. After Hurricane Sandy, the SBA provided funding and secured financing for us in order for Majestic to get back on our feet and to move forward.
She reached out to the SBA and was the recipient of a disaster loan.
This is Tompkinsville, Staten Island. It's a great place.
It is a small community with a huge reach. Everyone chips in, it's all hands on deck, and we found our place in the community.
I don't only work here, I consider myself a part of this community. The feeling that I got when I walked in here that day, see everything that I worked for, see the back of my building collapsed, and to say, wow, what do you do? I don't quit. I don't stop. And the thing that surprised me the most, I didn't only think about myself. I thought about my family, and I thought about my community. And I said, how am I going to do this? And more importantly, I knew I was going to do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our 2016 Phoenix Award winner for Outstanding Small Business Disaster Recovery, Marianne and Stephen Piazza, owners of Majestic Vending and Services from Staten Island, New York.
So what could we say? When we started out as a small business in 1994 as a simple DBA, we turned to look to see what could we do to just put food on the table and to raise a family. Who thought that here it is, our 20th year in business, that we would be here mainly because of the SBA. It is true that when we started our business, we started in our house. We were 6 people living in a 6-room house. And in our garage was 150 square feet. We needed to move our business out, and we wrote a business plan, and we were very grateful to do that. But who was going to listen to us? But the SBA did, and they gave us 100% financing, and we were able to purchase that building that we now have today. Through that process, we grew, and in 1999, we were able, after 3 years of being in business, to move in. But once again, after we continued to grow, in 2001, that fateful day, we were once again impacted. And a lot of our businesses, although that we were only a short distance away from Manhattan, we needed capital improvement loans and we needed to expand. And once again, the SBA came up and they allowed us to get that funding. And then we went through the next couple of years. And then once again, unfortunately, we were struck by Hurricane Sandy. And Hurricane Sandy came like no one could possibly imagine. And we realized that what were we going to do? And all through those years of being raised up in the community with the SBA as our business financier and their strategic partners as the Small Business Development Center, we were able to become more aware of what they had to offer. So it is through the SBA that we are here today, and we're just encouraged and very humbled by this whole experience because we didn't know anybody was watching. And yet, in the end, we are very happy to be here tonight. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, just a couple of housekeeping matters. If you have a name tag, you will need it for tomorrow, so don't lose those name tags. Keep them with you. They are your ticket for the other event tomorrow, which is going to be outstanding. This is just the beginning. National Small Business Week is officially kicked off. Please follow us through all the events. Continue to follow us on our website, through Twitter, through Facebook. Enjoy, track the administrator and the deputy administrator as they go the highways and byways of this country next week. And we want to thank you for joining us, those of you here in the room and on the webcam, the webcast. Thank you for joining us. All of our kids, it's time to go to sleep. That means you too, Anderson. Thank you and good night. Thank you for joining us.